Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be diving in.
Today, we're taking a look at a figure whose influence, well, even after leaving the highest office, it just continues to reverberate through American politics.
Absolutely.
We're unpacking insights from a powerful source titled Trump's Enduring Influence, Post-Presidency Power.
Yeah, it's quite a title.
Our mission today is really to dissect how Donald Trump has continued to shape the political landscape since 2021. And, what the future might hold. We've taken this deep dive into your stack of sources, pulling out those crucial nuggets, the surprising facts, and the overarching narrative for you.
And it's a truly fascinating subject. The material makes it so clear that, while he's out at the White House, his impact is far from over.
Right.
He's not just some historical figure you read about. He's an active, dynamic force shaping the present and the future.
So less history book, more current events.
Exactly. What's fascinating is how the different pieces of research kind of connect. They paint this picture of enduring power, not really a fading star.
Okay, let's unpack this thing, because there's definitely a lot to consider.
Let's do it.
All right, let's start right after the 2020 election. Now, you might think a presidential loss would diminish someone's political capital.
Usually, yeah.
But the analysis in our source, it suggests kind of the opposite for Trump. Even with that loss, his influence was still very much alive.
Very much so.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Many believe his post-election behavior profoundly shifted the political landscape. So what specific mechanisms does the research point to? His role in that aftermath, especially with the Stop the Steal movement, how did that lay the groundwork?
Well, the material really emphasizes that Trump's influence didn't just fade away with the results. In some ways, it actually transformed, maybe even intensified.
Intensified? How so?
The Stop the Steal movement is highlighted as this really pivotal moment. It wasn't just a challenge to the election outcome. It became a powerful rallying cry for his base.
Right, a rallying cry.
Exactly. And the source details how his refusal to accept the results, his consistent push on these claims of a stolen election.
Despite the evidence.
Despite overwhelming evidence, yeah. That didn't just set the tone for his post-presidency, it kind of redefined it.
Redefined it.
Yeah, it shifted. It went from maybe a fight for power to really solidifying his identity as the defiant leader of a movement, separate almost from the traditional Republican Party structure.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So less about the office, more about the movement itself.
Precisely. It wasn't just about holding on to a position. It was about cementing this powerful personal brand, this narrative of grievance that really resonated deeply with his core supporters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the strategy, as the analysis reveals, it significantly disrupted the Republican Party. It created this clear dividing line, between those who embraced his claims and those who were kind of ready to move on.
And that strengthened his holdover.
Over the former group, absolutely, those who embraced the claims.
That's a crucial point then, that it wasn't just about the office, but shaping an identity, a movement.
Right.
And that identity seems, well, tied inextricably to his ability to command attention.
Always has been.
So, moving beyond the election stuff, the research underscores Trump's undiminished media presence. It's constant. Rallies, interviews, social media.
He's everywhere.
Almost like a gravitational pull in the news cycle. So how does the source describe his media strategy now in this post-presidency era? What tactics is he using to keep that spotlight so firmly on himself?
Well, the overarching finding from the analysis is that his media presence is as robust as ever, maybe even more strategic now.
More strategic?
Yeah, he doesn't need the White House podium to keep the media chasing his every word. He's become a master of what the research actually calls narrative capture.
Narrative capture.
One striking finding is how he continues to leverage social media. Platforms like Truth Social, specifically mentioned, act as this direct pipeline to his base.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly, circumventing traditional media filters. This lets him set the agenda, drop new talking points, respond instantly to criticism, often creating a counter-narrative before the mainstream media even figures out what's happening.
Interesting.
And beyond social media, the material notes his careful selection of interviews, often with friendly outlets, right? Which gives him a platform without maybe the intense scrutiny he'd face elsewhere.
Makes sense.
But maybe the most visually compelling element the source highlights, it's the rallies.
Ah, yes, the rallies.
They aren't just campaign events anymore. They're described as performances of populist power, even bigger and louder than ever.
Bigger and louder.
Yeah. And they serve multiple functions. They energize the base, obviously. They provide this constant stream of viral sound bites for the media,
Which they cover.
And crucially, they demonstrate his continued popular appeal. It's like a tangible measure of that stranglehold the source mentions.
A visual demonstration of power.
Absolutely. These rallies, the research suggests, are a key tool for maintaining control, for signaling to potential rivals within the GOP that, hey, his influence isn't going anywhere. It's sustained, multi-platform, designed to dominate the attention economy.
Keeping him right at the center of the conversation.
Always.
Okay, so if he's a master of this narrative capture, using rallies as a show of force, what does this all mean for the Republican Party itself?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Our source suggests his influence is just undeniable. He's effectively reshaped the GOP. Do you think he'll continue to define its future? Or is there maybe a genuine movement within the party looking to move beyond him, beyond Trumpism?
Well, if we connect the dots here, the material indicates that Trump has essentially remade the Republican Party in his image, for better or worse, depending on who you ask.
Right.
It's now often just called the Party of Trumpism, and that term, it signifies more than just his personal leadership. It's a shift in ideology, priorities, even voter demographics.
So Trumpism is more than just Trump.
Yeah, the research explains it involves this particular brand of economic nationalism, a skepticism towards global institutions, strong cultural conservatism, often framed, as a battle against wokeness. Now, are there factions wanting to step out of his shadow? Sure. The establishment wing, traditional conservatives, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of Republican primary voters and, frankly, elected officials still align with him. The source points to his endorsement power in primaries as Exhibit A.
His endorsement carries a lot of weight.
Huge weight. Candidates he backs often win. It shows his base is still the most potent force in GOP electoral politics. By keeping them engaged, keeping them loyal, he maintains what that analysis calls a stranglehold on the party's future.
Dictating the terms.
Dictating not just who can win, but what issues are discussed, what rhetoric is acceptable.
You mentioned a debate.
Yes, and the source doesn't shy away from this. It raises an important question. There is this growing debate, though maybe often whispered. Within the GOP, some strategists, younger leaders, they're reportedly considering, well, can the party embody similar populist ideals, but maybe without the perceived baggage of Trump's controversies?
A different messenger for the same message.
Kind of. Can they capture the energy of Trumpism with a new face?
Yeah.
It's this tension, right? Loyalty to the figure versus loyalty to the movement he inspired. How that plays out.
Yeah.
That's going to profoundly shape the GOP.
That's a critical distinction indeed.
Yeah.
The figure versus the movement. And that naturally leads us, I think, to 2024. Given this ongoing influence, the stranglehold you mentioned, there's been intense speculation about another run.
Constant speculation.
What does our source say about the likelihood of Trump throwing his hat in the ring again? And maybe more importantly, what does it say about his potential path, challenges he might face?
The source is pretty emphatic on this. It asserts that everything points to Trump running again in 2024.
Everything points that way.
Yeah. His rallies, his grip on the party, his public statements, it all indicates a clear intention, that he's not going anywhere. He sees himself as the party's natural leader for the next cycle.
Right.
The analysis suggests that for him, not running would be seen as admitting defeat. And that's just fundamentally against his political brand, his persona.
Okay, so likely running. But,
and this is crucial, the material also asks that nuanced question, can he win?
right, the landscape has changed.
Exactly. It acknowledges that while his base is incredibly loyal, America has changed demographically, politically since 2020.
So what are the hurdles?
The source points to a few potential challenges. First, the possibility of voter fatigue, just exhaustion among the broader electorate with the constant controversies.
Okay.
Second, there are the legal challenges, ongoing investigations. Those could impact public perception, especially with swing voters. And third, while he dominates the GOP now, you could still see a strong primary challenger emerge, or maybe a general election candidate who successfully appeals to voters looking for something less divisive. A fresh face.
Lots of variables.
Lots. But despite those hurdles, the research is clear. Trump still possesses that fire and political pull to launch another campaign.
The fire's still there.
Absolutely. His ability to grab media attention, mobilize his base, disrupt politics as usual. It remains potent. It's contended he won't back down easily.
And his path to victory.
Likely built on mobilizing those core supporters again, really getting them out, maybe less focused on dramatically expanding his appeal to new groups. It's a complex political calculation for sure.
It really is. Which brings us, I suppose, to a compelling final thought. His legacy.
Ah, the legacy question.
Looking ahead, what does our source predict? How will history remember Trump in the grand scope of American politics? Transformative leader, disruptive force, both.
The material makes it, well, unequivocally clear that his legacy will always be polarizing.
No middle ground.
No middle ground with him, as the research puts it. He's described as a figure who profoundly transformed the political landscape, ushered in this new wave of populism and nationalism.
It wasn't just policy.
No, not at all. It's about a shift in political discourse, the role of social media, the very definition, really, of what it means to be a Republican today. The analysis points to several areas where his impact will be felt for generations. He redefined the relationship between the presidency and the media,
Definitely.
challenged democratic norms, fundamentally altered the GOP's platform and its coalition of voters. The source kind of leaves the ultimate judgment to time, doesn't it?
It asks the question.
Yeah. Will he be remembered primarily for shaking up a system many felt was broken? Or for exacerbating divisions, challenging institutional trust in ways we haven't seen before?
A profound question.
But what's evident from the research, crystal clear, is that his influence extends far beyond his time in office. It's shaping how future politicians campaign, how parties operate, how Americans view their own government, regardless of where you stand personally.
Yeah.
The impact of his post-presidency power is a profound, ongoing story. It's not over.
What an incredibly insightful deep dive. His continued influence. It's complex, far-reaching, and as you say, still unfolding.
It really is.
It's clear from our source that the political reverberations are still being felt every single day.
Exactly. And maybe the biggest takeaway for you, our listener, is that the material suggests Trump isn't just a chapter in a history book.
Right.
Nor is he just a politician with a loyal following. He represents this powerful political movement, and it continues to evolve, adapt to new challenges, new opportunities.
A living movement.
Precisely. Whether or not he runs again in 2024, his influence, the source strongly suggests, will continue to shape American politics in ways we probably can't even fully predict yet. It pushes us to continually reassess things like political power, party loyalty, the role of leadership, especially in a deeply polarized nation. It really gives us something to think about, doesn't it?